Alright guys, I am
pissed
pissed
off
off right now. I'm actually not, I just said that to get your attention. But I feel like there are many unspoken rules of the internet, and one of them is definitely to be careful to who you talk to. You know, you could be talking to a creepy old man on the internet posing to be your cool 13-year-old friend, and if you post stuff on the internet, understand that people will troll. It's the internet, baby, and everything is at your fingertips. Sometimes that's not always the greatest thing, because sometimes you stumble upon a website that you shouldn't have. I have noticed this shift as of lately. That's the normalization of being an asshole, which I've seen since 2023, but we'll go back to that shift that I saw. Before the quote-unquote shift, I felt like the internet was pretty bearable as like a young child. You know, when I was a 7-year-old, my biggest fear was being bullied because of not having enough Robux and if my Moshi monster was cute. When I was, a preteen and a 13-year-old, I wanted to have friends who enjoyed the same things I did, like Danganronpa, art, and such. Back then, I felt like it was easier for me to connect with friends about art and ROCs. Hell, even back on Twitter before Elon Musk destroyed it, my art, despite not being the best, had a lot of people building me up upon it. People were nice, and people who were outside of my mutual/internet friend circle were even commenting on my OC posts that were nice. I had a community, and it was building up a young, small artist who wasn't the best. This is my art at the time, by the way. Of course, I am not trying to say that the olden days of the internet was sunshine and rainbows, especially in the art community, but people back then would hate you because you were problematic, you were an art thief, and sometimes a literal criminal. Sometimes there would be people who hate randomly on teenagers for no reason, but back then, I felt like that was quite infrequent. Now I'm going back to this evil shift that I saw in the art community in 2023. Of course, there was always some level of toxicity in the art community, but it got knocked up a couple of notches when art lore became a thing. I made a whole video on art lore, and I suggest you watching this, but watch it after this video. The art community was not what it used to be. People would hate on your art if it wasn't good enough. Some of the people they would hate on would have good art, it's just quote-unquote not good enough. I have also noticed that when I got onto art TikTok and posted my art in 2023, my comments were not positive. I was not expecting people to treat me like the next Picasso, and I understood that I would get some trolls, but the comments were always negative. If it wasn't full down mean, like you should never draw again and what the hell is this, or whatever TikTok mean comment that was popular at the time, it was always someone nitpicking at my art disguised as a constructive criticism. And if I don't take it, then I'm just a snowflake and I will never get better because I'm so entitled. And in my defense, in 2023, I was experiencing some kind of art regression. Not actual art regression, because I don't really believe that art regression is a thing, but I was depressed and I wasn't making my best art because I had literally no motivation and I would rush it. And also, to be fair to the art community in 2023, I didn't really get those comments from, I didn't get a lot of them, majority of them from the art community. Majority of it was from pro shippers. Yeah, it was not a great feeling to wake up to 20 hate comments by pro shippers. That was a really fun time. But anyway, I'm getting out of hand. This is not just a problem with the art community in the year of 2025. It is also a problem on the internet in general. And me and my friend were talking about this, and the thing is though, is that my friend told me that this isn't something that I should internalize, because most people who behave like this are miserable. Hey, this is Jaiden from the future, and we are officially at the middle of the video, and if you're watching this far, you might as well subscribe, because I have other videos you can enjoy. Subscribing to me is easy, it's free, and you can take it back anytime, because I'm not like a malicious company telling you to not unsubscribe. I also have free content for you to enjoy. Isn't that awesome? I also have other social medias, such as, my TikTok, and if you want more, buy me a cup of coffee. I don't know. That's it. Goodbye. That's why recently, when I do get hate comments, I don't really internalize it, because I tell myself, these people do not know me personally or in any shape or form. They hate me of this. They hate this version of me that they created in their head. And I'm gonna be vulnerable here, even though my art has changed significantly a lot, and it is way better than it used to be in 2023 and in 2022, those comments still are in the back of my psyche in the sense. I have this internalized fear whenever I want to post an animation, and I don't think it should be like that, but unfortunately it is. I'm afraid that one day I would just post the animation and then wake up and I see an influx of 20 hate comments. Yes, all publicity is publicity in some way, but I do not want to re-experience that. And I know I'll get comments saying, at this point, I would have just have quit. It's understandable why someone would leave a community or stop doing a hobby if they get harassed for the dumbest stuff ever. However, I feel like I'm just letting them win by not posting that animation or not posting that art piece. Maybe I am getting older and this is why I'm paranoid, and that's why I'm not nilly-willy posting like I used to when I was 13, but I also believe it was definitely the environment of the internet, because, mind you, my art was not the best when I was 13, and I had many nice comments, and nowadays I'm afraid of having those hate comments because of what happened in 2023. I don't want to end this video on a negative note, so I will give out a solution, and I believe it is holding people accountable. And when you hold people accountable, hopefully they will stop being such a jerk to other people. And that even includes when people are just being out to you. And yes, some people you should definitely ignore. I ignore majority of my hate comments because I don't have the energy to fight with people. But if you feel like other people, could benefit from you standing up for them, then I suggest doing that.